If you haven't had an opportunity to watch Game of Thrones, the Season 5, Episode 1 opener, The Wars to Come. Stop listening now, major spoilers, here we go. So, tonight's episode was called The Wars to Come, and let me just say this right now, I absolutely loved everything about this episode. Was it a slow episode? Yes, it was. Let's just be real, let's be honest, and I think the reason why is probably because they couldn't afford... anything else as far as action or adventure, because they spent a lot of money on dragons and I guess the big show of Khalessi's power. So I guess I can say this, as a huge fan of Khalessi, I apologize to all of the Game of Thrones fans out there, because we took majority of the time in the episode and we took away from probably, I don't know, something else they could have done with some of your characters, man. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to start with Khalessi. I'm going to end with Lady Sansa, and then I'll talk about maybe Jon Snow, and that's pretty much about it. You guys know how my Game of Thrones reviews go. I talk about my characters, don't really care about anything else, and I try not to spoil too much. But I just give it like an overview of what I was able to see, during this episode. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is just the emotional scene that occurred with Khalessi and her two dragons, Viserion and Rhaegal. I was in tears, man. I had to literally pause the actual HBO Go screen. I had to pause it and just take a moment, man, to kind of take in what was on the screen, man. Here, let me kind of paint the picture. So, Khalessi, she walks into the tomb, one of the Unsullied soldiers, they open the tomb, she walks down in there. This is the first time that we are entering the tomb after, I'm pretty sure a lot of you were just like me, and you screamed at the television last season, and you said, Khalessi, please, stop. Do not place the dragons inside of the tomb. Do not lock them up. Don't put the chains on their neck. This is not what you stand for. You are the mother of dragons, but you're also the mother of freedom and the mother of the free world. Like, you stand for something. And if you lock these dragons away, there's going to be hell to pay. And so, as we can see, she's walking into the tomb. She walks down the steps. Everything's pitch black. The last time that we saw the tomb, it was open. There was, I didn't want to say, there was food on the ground. There was air coming inside of the tomb because the tomb was wide open. Maybe they can go freely from, back and forth out of the tomb and fly away and do whatever they had to do as dragons. But this one, we see darkness. And there's literally no light besides maybe the light from the nighttime, from the moon, the stars in the sky like that's coming through the tomb, the entrance of the tomb, but everything else is pitch black. And the only thing that you can hear, if you listen very closely, you can hear the breathing of the dragons, and you can hear the chains moving, but it's very slowly, man. And obviously, I'm thinking that people were thinking probably the same thing. I know you guys are. You're thinking like, wow, okay, the chains aren't moving like they were previously in Season 4, the Season 4 finale, which I don't know how long it takes, but I'd say maybe we pick up a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month later. It hasn't been that long because Tyrion, his body is not rotten, okay? And we see him at the beginning of the episode, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. Really, really funny. If you watch the movie Big Eyes, you'll totally get it. Anyway, the baby dragons... they were moving around, they were making noise, screaming for, their mother to return. There was just more excitement and more movement, but now they move like predators, and you can't hear them until it's right at that second before they attack. And if it wasn't for, I don't know which one it was, I don't know, probably Rhaegal, man. Rhaegal, he probably was the one that did this. He probably used his fire first, because I think that, I don't know, I don't kind of see Viserion, I don't really see him doing that. I don't know if there's a he or she, whatever. I don't see that one doing that one. It's just, he got a pretty dope name, so he's probably not going to do, breathe all that fire and stuff. But one of the dragons that tried to attack, man. You know, she comes in there, she calls their name, they're not responding. And then she walks, you know, further and deeper into the dungeon, and then they attack, man. One of them is just sitting there waiting for her. And obviously, I think these motherfucking dragons can see in the darkness, because his fucking head was right next to her face, man. So, like, where she was standing at, he was right in front of her, man, and he lunged out. If Khalessi wouldn't be, you know, so dope to where she can back up, you know, and have, like, the reflexes of Floyd Mayweather, she would have been done. She would have literally been killed instantly in front of our faces, man. Bitten to smithereens, chewed into chunks, and swallowed, man, whole. Or she would have been burned to death, but we obviously, we know that can't happen. But it was scary, man. It was really scary because, you know, she's trying to calm them down, and she says, easy, easy, easy. They're not listening, man. The only thing that they're doing is that they're screaming out with rage. They're blowing fire. They don't care what she has to say, man. She's almost unrecognizable to her children. And then there was a moment. She runs out of the dungeon, out of the cave, whatever you want to call it. And as soon as she gets clear of the entrance, she just places her back against the wall. And she's trying to take a moment to breathe and take it all in. And that's the first time that I have ever witnessed her since the beginning of Khalessi, since the beginning of the Mother of Dragons, when she emerged out of the fire like the phoenix. This is the first time that I saw fear on her face. And the first time, man, as a lover of Khalessi, as a follower of Khalessi, as a believer in the Khalessi way, I felt as if all hope was lost, man. My Mother of Dragons, like, she was unrecognizable to me. And I looked out and I said, where have they gone, Khalessi? Where have they gone? What did you do with my Khalessi? And it hurt, man. And it hurt, man. I gotta take a moment, man. I gotta take a moment. Yeah, so as a fan of Khalessi, as someone has watched her grow, man, from season 1 all the way until now, season 5, you just worry, man. You worry, and you don't know what the future is going to hold, man. We have one dragon on the loose. Drogon, the dragon, I'm guessing, is on the loose. The 7 kingdoms are pretty much, man, in a state of shock, but also in a state of a shared conscience as far as someone has to step up now that the Lannister name is dead. There's no one to step up in the throne. No one here can be king, I guess you can say. And no one is as powerful as their father. And now every single person from the kingdom that has showed up for the burial or the memorial, they're just looking to pounce, man. The thing that's going on right now with Littlefinger and Lady Sansa, Littlefinger is he took Robin. This is funny, man, because he took Robin to this location where Robin will train up and hopefully become some sort of warrior, which I don't see that happening. We're talking about Robin, the kid who was a child and then turned into a teenager or whatever, and he was still sucking on his mother's teat, which was absolutely the most awkward thing that ever happened in Game of Thrones, besides Cersei and her brother, boning. He's just gonna leave him there as, Lady Sansa and Littlefinger. They're gonna go and they're gonna head off and see whatever trouble they can get into, or to see if he can save her. I don't know. I don't trust him. I wish Lady Sansa would go away and go to a safe place. But I don't know what's going to happen, man. Huge fan of Lady Sansa. Let me talk to you guys about her, man. And this will probably be the end of the podcast, because I can't take it anymore. My heart is literally going to shatter. I look at her, and I remember back, from seasons 1 all the way until now, season 5, the character progression, it's just amazing. But one thing that you can guarantee and positively say is that you can't recognize who Lady Sansa is. You recognize a familiar voice, but she looks so different. And it's like, whoa, what happened? Where did you go? We don't know, man, but maybe it's just that she's trying to survive right now. And that's the only way that she knows how, is just to listen to Littlefinger. And obviously, I think that she's afraid of Littlefinger because of what he's capable of. And I had no clue. I'm not gonna lie, man. I thought Littlefinger was... I thought he was a bitch, man. I never knew that Littlefinger was like someone that you didn't mess with. You don't cross this guy because he's a psycho. He's a lunatic. He's a crazy person. That's just the way it is, man. But yo, just, I don't know, man. Say some prayers, man, for Lady Sansa at night. She's going to be traveling to a location that I don't want to spoil because I think that it's something special. But there's going to be more characters heading to that location soon. Okay? The dwarf, the imp, the killer of the king, the killer of his father, he is actually good to go. He's taking it pretty hard, though. He's still drinking. And I don't know, man. I thought that Tyrion was going to be a little bit better. I thought that he was going to be, I don't know, maybe a little happier now that his dad is gone. But it doesn't seem like that. And I don't know what's going to happen as far as, is he going to take his rightful place on the throne? I don't know where he's going to go, to be honest, but I hope that it's going to be somewhere that's going to be good for him, as far as, you know, just the way to get out of the slump that he's in right now, man. Now, Tywin is dead, and I think we talked about that, and I think I might have misspoke in the beginning, and I probably said this is the wrong name because I was too excited. Tywin is dead. They showed you some big eyes on him. Cersei, they had a crazy little flashback sequence for her. Really, really weird, but it talked about the future, and we understand how she got to where she's at because of what she did. The Sparrows have arrived, and Cersei has had an opportunity to talk to one of the Sparrows. That's pretty much it, man. Nothing else to really report, guys. We're out of here, man. Comment, like, subscribe, man. And I might come back with one more Game of Thrones review. I'm going to go and watch this bad boy again, probably in a couple of days after I mourn the loss of my Khalessi, man. We're out of here, guys. Thanks again for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, share this video. And let me hear from you guys. I want to hear from all you Game of Thrones fans. Especially my Khalessi people. Like, oh, gosh, man. We're out of here.